When Tidewater Telecom built Lincoln County's first fiber-to-the-home network in 2011, we knew we were starting a project that would take years to see through. 9 years later, we are proud to have connected more than 2,000 Lincoln County homes to our blazing fast, open fiber network. But that hasn't dimmed our vision to connect all of Lincoln County. Learn more about the power of fiber optic internet at tidewater.net.
LCTV is your nonprofit community media station. Please donate at lctv.org to keep us strong. Thank you.
One, two, three, four! Well, I've been rolling in since the clock came Monday morning. From the end of the week, I'm bound to blow. Breeze walking to the honky-tonk like a pack of wolves now. Order up around the shops and it's away we go.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Wuzzup. I'm here guest hosting. I'm Sally Farrell from the CLC YMCA, and I'm here with Bobby. And Bobby, please tell us about your exciting week last week.
Well,
we missed
first
you.
of all, it was 90 degrees. It was the hottest frozen 4 out of my 30 years, I can tell you that. But it was anybody who watched these games. I mean, this was so exciting. Quinnipiac versus Minnesota in the final game. Quinnipiac was down 2-1. Mm-hmm. They pulled the goalie with 4 minutes left, which is really, it's not unusual, but it's very unusual.
A little gutsy.
And so anyway, that's the word. And so anyway, they pulled the goalie with 4 minutes left. They scored. Mm-hmm. They tied the game at 2-2, and it went into overtime. And so I tell you, if you weren't back in your seat or focused on the drop of the puck,
You missed it.
You missed it because 15 seconds it was over. It was unbelievable. And so the shout out to the Quinnipiac, the coach. I know the coach is a genius. His name's Rand Pecknold. I know he's a hockey genius, but this was over the top. The other thing is during the game, I mean, Minnesota outplayed them drastically the first half of the game, and all of a sudden it flipped.
Turned around. It was amazing.
So anyway, the final shot count was double Quinnipiac versus Minnesota, but it was an unbelievable game, just like it always is. The city of Tampa was incredible, just like they always are, and but the heat was the downside. I did have I was telling Sally off camera, one of my highlights this year was I'm involved with the Hobie Baker Committee, so we seat people, we set the place up, we usher people, hand out programs, things like that. It's all on the NHL station. Jameson Coyle, NHL announcer, he covers the whole thing. But I was in charge of seating people on the right side, which housed the Fantilli family and the Cooley family and the Nyes family were the final 3 Hobie Baker finalists. So I sat the Cooley family and I sat the Nyes family. But when things get rolling with the camera, I had to get out of the middle shot because I'd be on the... So I set up myself to sit between Adam Fantilli's girlfriend and Adam Fantilli's mother, who were the two most beautiful ladies I'd seen in years. And so anyway, I said, I'm sitting there. So when Adam Fantilli won the Hobie Baker Award, to be sitting between his girlfriend and his mother,
That's
that
amazing.
was my whole weekend, was made right there. So anyway, I want to congratulate them. I know your husband Tom's a Michigan fan. The rumor on the street was that Mr. Fantilli was going to stay in school for another year. The Nyes kid from Minnesota is definitely going to the NHL. And the Cooley kid, the rumor on the street is he's staying too. So anyway, so you get to see him for another year. And next year...
Yeah, make for an interesting draft, right?
Next year, I'm alreys looking forward to next year. It's in St. Paul, Minnesota.
St. Paul, a little colder. You won't get the 90 degrees in St. Paul.
I mean, thank God for sunblock. I mean, I was in the sun for 5 hours.
Yeah, that takes it out of you when you're not used to it.
Thank God for the sunblock and my new hat that Dave showed you.
How many pucks did you get?
Just a couple. I didn't go crazy on the pucks. So anyway, they have the Hobie hat trick pucks, and so anyway, it was It's filled. The hotel was filled with hockey celebrities.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. So what's going on in Damariscotta?
Oh, well, you missed so much while you were away. But
Well, they want to change AOS 93. Lindsay Johnson, I see she wants to restructure the whole school administration.
do you
right?
know what it means to be an AOS versus the school units?
No, I don't.
So I served on the Great Salt Bay and the AOS boards for years. So the AOS is different that each individual school has its own budget and has its own board. So the superintendent needs to go to the Great Salt Bay board. South Bristol separately, Noblesboro separately, Bristol separately, and Jefferson separately, and they all have different budgets. So the type of work that makes for a superintendent in the central office is huge versus just all one teacher contract and one board.
Boy, I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to be handling the conglomerate. To me, it seems more practical to handle each individual school.
In some ways, but there are schools like South Bristol, for example, they have very unique things and they don't want to lose the local control of how they get to educate their own children. So, it makes for a lot of work, but we have some pretty neat schools around here. And like today, when we were reading through this, the different things that they get to do. So it'll be interesting how this unfolds and, what their strategic plan is for the next few years. I took a quick peek at it, but it will be neat to see how it comes out for us.
And the school systems also, they're susceptible to lawsuits, and there's a lawsuit that's
Yes, there is.
That's pending here, and it's going to go forward. Great Salt Bay Schools being sued by a family about different things I really don't want to get into. But how about this? Boy, they're not fooling around. They've already had the public hearing for the 102-bed nursing home.
Right.
Now they're going to have a public hearing for the 32-bed senior housing project.
Yeah.
And so it's on a 6.59 acre lot, and it's affordable housing for seniors. I mean, let's face it, our town is, I don't know what the average age in this town is. It's got to be in the late 60s, middle 60s.
Well, oldest county, oldest state. So, right. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to need places, because you know as well as I do, when I'm in my 70s, to take care of my house, I don't even know how I'm going to do it.
Right.
I really don't.
Yeah, and there's so many homes like yours in this area, a lot of older homes that need a lot of care.
Yep. The Head Start program.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Now, you know all about Head Start.
I
Head
do.
Start, and Waldeboro had a Head Start program for a long time, and they had it at the Friendship Street School, and they opted not to renew their lease, and the Friendship Street School has been sold.
Yes.
The town of Waldeboro sold that school. So anyway, they're looking for a home.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the other thing that's happening in Waldeboro is, well, a lot's going on in Waldeboro. Waldeboro's a hotbed for news, but the farmers market is going to be returning to Waldeboro. It's going to be in the town office parking lot, and according to the
Julie Kaiser.
Yep. Julie says there's plenty of farms that are interested in going on board. So
That's a great resource for all of them.
our character of the county, can you talk about her a little bit?
I don't know her. I don't know Linda.
I'm telling you, Linda she has been a mainstay with music here in Lincoln County, teaching, and so anyway, she's been the choir director of St. Andrew's Church. She's been the head of the Sheepscot Valley Chorus. She's been the head of the St. Cecilia Chamber Choir. Her husband of 29 years, Sean Fleming, is an amazing, talented piano player, and they've been married for 29 years. So, according to the article, she said, Sherwood wrote, she said she'd rather talk about her husband than herself.
And her daughter. I thought that was pretty neat.
Anyway, that must be a hard interview to do. When you go, I want to talk about, she goes, I'd rather talk about my daughter and my husband. You got to pry information out of these people, but he did a nice job. It's a nice article, and we're very lucky to have Linda here. Yeah. And she was another University of Michigan person.
Yeah, I saw that when I went through that too. Did you see about the booth-based schools? They've been trying to recover from flooding that happened during one of our
still isn't rectified.
They're having such a hard time, but they're going to be able to now a bunch of the kids are getting housed at the, getting schooled at the Booth Bay YMCA, which was recently just all redone, and it's gorgeous. But then we also have kids who they're going to be working with Wiscasset Middle High School and be doing their schooling there for the rest of the year. So that's interesting.
Jefferson voters, they got a 20% increase in. They also have a solar moratorium, and we're hearing every week you hear about more and more towns are being very cautious about solar, and they want to keep it under control, and rightly so.
Yeah, a lot of the concerns are what happens with those big panels once they are no longer active.
Right.
Then there's a big, waste and how to manage it. That is a lot.
Yep. So the Edgecombe, they've got to pick 2 new select board members.
Yep.
And
I know Lynn, but I don't know Craig. It looks like she would be, she has just such great experience. And
Lynn's a high energy woman.
Yes, she is.
She did a fantastic job at the Lincoln Home.
Yep.
And lived in Damariscotta for many years.
Yeah.
Many years on Water
Street. Yep.
So, okay, so I'm going to turn the page now. Sally, you must be getting pretty good at this.
I am. I feel like a couple weeks in a row here now,
But, so who would have ever known that if a little girl said, "Mommy, I don't want to go to school," it would involve the game warden, the dog, his dog. What's the dog's name?
She wanted to know Coda.
Yeah, Coda. So anyway, if it wasn't for Coda, she probably never would have got out of the tree.
It was a pretty scary situation.
Yeah.
They, the police, they were all around the Y. The sheriff was there. They were about to, they were using drones to look for location, and but it was just amazing to see all of our emergency responders and the community in general step up to really find out where this girl was as soon as they could. So, scary situation.
Yeah, she wasn't far away, but far enough away to be scary.
Yeah.
Damariscotta Select Board, they're ramping up their talks on moratorium on aquaculture, and so this just both ways. I mean, it employs people. It's a great resource for the town of Damariscotta, but it does congest the river. There's no doubt about it. So anyway, I was just over at the Miles Hospital there, and the Hagers are really going to town on that causeway.
I saw that. Unbelievable.
That causeway up there is really something.
Yeah, that is quite a project.
It's going to be the grand entryway to the hospital, I think.
I think so.
Yep.
I keep seeing this picture. There's Officer Billy Smith jump roping with the kids, and look at that height he has there. It's pretty amazing.
I mean,
he's awesome.
Billy, I know you need to work out a little bit, but Billy probably doesn't have the time. He's got to take advantage
when he can,
even in uniform.
Absolutely.
Even in uniform.
That's some good multitasking there, right? That's great.
Yeah. So Newcastle, they're what are they talking about? They're talking about their
comprehensive plan.
The comprehensive plan's got to be looked at. I know Christopher Doherty, who was a selectman for years in Newcastle. He's trying to find some money from the town of Newcastle to put a street lamp at the head of Station Road, which he said he's been requesting for 20 years. He says a very dark intersection. It's a very dangerous intersection. I think we actually lost a lady at that intersection because of a car accident not too long ago. Now, I was in conversation with my wife over this thing. The Merry Barn, they're going to have weekly classes, and a woman by the name of Alyssa Rue is going to be teaching weekly eccentrics classes. Now, eccentrics uses gentle, full-body movements. Thank you for putting this definition in here. Uses gentle, full-body movements focusing on liberating the joints and fascia connective tissue. In other words, when you get done, it sounds like a type of yoga. But
Are you going to go try it out for us?
I was going to check it out.
All right, well, visit me when you go by. That's
Yeah,
pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah.
I like this. You could attend a docent college to learn about all the different historical things in town, and then you can give tours. That would be fun.
Yep, you could be a docent. You're already a docent for the Y. I mean, I could be a docent for Damascotta Mills.
Absolutely.
I mean, what's Larry going to be a docent for? Larry will be a docent for LCTV. So you have to take courses. You have to be knowledgeable in what you're going to talk about.
Right. You never know what questions you're going to get. And it's fun looking. Did you see this boy in the sled during the Easter egg hunt? He was on crutches, so someone put him on a sled and dragged him around.
It just goes to show you, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, you can figure it out. That's some good ingenuity right there.
Easter egg hunts, they're one thing it's a staple that stayed around.
Huge.
Things have changed, but Easter egg hunts have never gone away.
It's more like a nod to spring these days, I think. Look there's more pictures on the next page. The Easter Bunny was very busy last Saturday, from what I can see.
Guess. Anyway. Waldorf ambulance involved in a Warren crash.
Yeah, that's scary.
Boy, that's bad news. That could be costly to fix an ambulance.
Of all the different pieces.
It's costly enough to fix a car. But how about this? Rebecca Cooney writes about this Ernest Vanna. He's a transportation director over at RSU 40. I wonder if he's got enough drivers. I don't even know.
Well, he said sometimes, he'll forget someone and he has to call someone else to go pick them up. And I mean, just look at his smile, like how warm and welcoming.
Yeah.
But staffing.
He said when he was younger, he had his heart set on being a truck driver, but it eventually took him to the bus driving route. And I have a friend, Jack, he's a bus driver down in Connecticut. He was in the corporate printing world his whole life, and he's a bus driver now down in, what's that town? Yeah, in Connecticut somewhere. So Norwalk. He's a bus driver in Norwalk. So anyway, he loves it. He loves the kids. He says his wife says the guy's never been happier.
We get some great bus drivers around here. I remember my kids grew up in Damascotta, and I mean, they would give them snacks when they were getting off, and they were just so wonderful to them. And it's just such a great combination of qualities.
Having a fundraiser for Abden Simmons. He's going to be running against Wendy, right?
For the House District 45.
Yep.
They were putting her name up. So as long as that all went through, yes.
Well, I tell you, Bremen's got a little paranoia about the brown-tailed moth. According to Melanie Pendleton, the town clerk, the state is supposed to spray, but they're saying they don't have the money to do it. They said they're out of money, and Bremen says, the heck with you. We'll do it
figure
ourselves.
it out. Yeah.
So anyway, they're talking about these trees on Route 32, which are
just covered.
Loaded with nests. So
anyway,
so you're talking about getting bucket trucks in there and spraying the remainder of the trees because it can get out of control. I mean, I've seen properties loaded with oak trees that are just loaded with these nests.
And then they need the right conditions to eradicate them too. I was supposed to have a meeting with Dennis Anderson, and he said, well, maybe we'll meet. We'll see if I'm able to get brown-tailed moths that day or not, or if we can meet. So
really? So the conditions have to be right for the moths?
Yeah, I think so. Funny.
Anyway, so.
Oh, the Jefferson Food Pantry is looking for a new home. So that
they've outgrown their food pantry at St. Charles Episcopal Church, and they're graciously thanking them for their generosity with that.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, they've done a great job. The people who are running it now, and the need is so great that hopefully they can find a place soon for that.
Now, how about this pharmacy down in Wiscasset? Now, Wiscasset has no pharmacy.
Wiscasset? No.
Do they have a pharmacy?
Maybe. Do they have one in Shaw's?
Maybe. If we do, you can call us or write to us and tell us if there's a Wiscasset pharmacy. But the planning board is reviewing a pharmacy application. It's going to be on Water Street over by just past Sarah's.
Yep.
And it's on the left-hand side, and it's going to be in the same building as
Family
Wiscasset
healthcare.
Family
Yeah, that
Health.
makes sense, right?
So, but they saying that they don't have to abide by the same rules because they're in a family health. But I think the Wiscasset Planning Board is saying that they don't want it to be a private pharmacy. They want it to be a public pharmacy.
Have it be accessible.
So,
That makes, yep.
I mean, it makes sense if they're going to go that route to create a pharmacy. Why not make it public?
Yeah.
If they don't have a pharmacy, as far as Sally and I know, there's no
I'm sure
pharmacy.
we'll be getting corrected.
There's no pharmacy in Wiscasset. So Westport Island, they're taking bids for their snowplow contract. They would like to do it for 3 years. Anyway, I don't know if I would want to be a snowplow contractor and take a bid for 3 years.
That's hard with staffing and equipment and everything.
Cost.
So, yep.
Yep.
A lot of unknowns. Well, last week we were seeing that some people were, putting a fuel clause in it. So depending what fuel prices did, that they could be covered.
So there was a letter here from Lisa Tickey in Wiscasset. I know Lisa, and she lived in Portland, Oregon for a long time. She lives in Maine now, but they're putting a group home. It doesn't really say what kind of group home. It's just a group home, and so she's saying that she knows very, very much that it's needed, but she feels that there's not going to be the proper monitoring.
They want to make sure that they're doing it thoughtfully because of all the issues that can come with it.
How about you see the editorial? Now, what did that mean to you? The editorial, to me, they don't have enough reporters. So they're taking all the papers, and they're going to be, it's basically giving them the ability to pull articles from each paper to fill all the papers. So,
makes sense.
I mean, I'm up for some new blood as far as writing articles.
That's a good idea. I liked the Maine working families need expanded child care. We are working on that right now, and they were citing some successful programs in this article from Brunswick and Bath, and that's definitely our committee has been looking into things like that, so it's important to
So I remember a while back you actually gave a figure that there was about over 200 families that could use child care that don't have it today?
Right now on our list at the Y, we have 110 families on our list, and we serve 107. So it's double of what,
So if you wanted to be a crafter at the St. Philip's Church Strawberry Festival, which we know has been going on for
Forever.
300 years. So anyway, you can submit an application or call 882-7184. Matt Hanley's been, he sighted his first loon. He's all excited. He's all excited. So.
Well, I've been hearing the peepers. I'm sure you've been hearing them. Spring is here.
First thing I heard when I got out of my car last night.
Oh, I love it.
Yep. Calvin wrote an article here about the Lincoln Theater, which I'm just fascinated with old theaters. They're like one of my favorite things. But
you could be a docent.
Anyway, I could. I could be a docent in the Lincoln Theater. I bet if they had some scheduled hours for tours, I think people would go.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, if they did it like before some of their events.
Yep.
Figure
like
it
the
out.
Adam Ezra concert.
I'll let you start that. There you go. I'll let you start that. That would be perfect. I love the Indian legends. There were some of the little boy and how he was able to talk to the birds. It was pretty neat to hear all the history.
Our legislators are busy, very busy. Holly Stover's very busy.
Cameron Rennie.
Rennie. Holly introduced a bill to improve Maine response to sexual violence. And how about this? This guy got out of Dodge. Jeff Baye. He went from Whitefield. He went to school at University of Alaska.
I saw that. He decided to go far.
He made the honor roll.
That's awesome.
So good for him.
Absolutely.
There was an article by Arlene Cole about discontinuance of roads. So anyway, I don't, that looks like there's a picture here of a washout.
Right.
You see those? You still see those? It's still happening.
Looks like my road right now.
You got some fire safety tips. The Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry's Forest Protection Division. How do you say that? It's got to be an abbreviation for that. So anyway,
Yeah, with all the high winds in the
they've
spring.
experienced over 40 wildfires. There was a wildfire on the news this morning in New Jersey that was
Wow.
burning pretty good.
That's scary. And
Good.
it's neat to see all these, there's a lot more smaller clips at Midcoast Matters. A lot of our nonprofits are doing their own little sections in the paper now, which
Right.
is nice to see.
The that old Bristol Historical Society down there, they actually have opened now. There's a picture of Belinda Ogier stands in the completed climate-controlled fireproof storage vault.
Yes, and the old Pool Brothers down there, right?
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty neat.
Climate-controlled fireproof storage. You thought they were just slapping a few boards on there? Oh, no.
No, appears that they did a lot more than that.
Yes,
if you
they
look at the
did.
interior.
Yep. In Bristol, if you want to help clean up on
Yep.
the side of the road in Bristol, I know that happens. I know that's a popular
Day.
experience. So April 22nd, that's
Yep.
going to happen. And
It's amazing when the snow melts how many things are uncovered and what we need to do.
yep, they already got the docks in down in Round Pond.
Oh, that's great. You don't have them in at Mill Pond yet, do you?
No. Talk a little bit about Tom's lacrosse team.
It's exciting. They're doing well. They had a play day at Morse, and they won 2 out of 3 of their games. And of course, they're putting kids in, and just trying new things, teaching the new kids how to play. And then they went to play. They had a scrimmage against Coney, and they beat them pretty well.
Yeah.
And last year they lost to them, so they really have some. It's nice because they seem to. Their numbers are spread out through all the years. During COVID, you had a few classes that were missing, but we're back to pre-COVID numbers, and yeah.
Who's the goalie this year?
Sean Cushing.
Okay.
So his cousin was the goalie before Will, Damon Westaver.
Yeah.
So Sean played last year
Yeah.
and was an attack, and now he's moved up to trying goal. And then
Okay.
Kevin Crossley is also helping with it. He's a
Okay.
senior. So they've been most of these kids, I've seen them all winter at the Y working hard on their games. So yeah.
Lincoln Academy's got a tennis team coming back.
Which their tennis is always top notch,
Yep.
boys and girls.
Yep.
So and baseball is having a great season.
And how about girls lacrosse? They got
Yes. Oh, I talked to Mick. Have you talked to Mick about it?
Marley,
And
the
Remy.
the goal machine.
Yeah, she is.
She's a goal machine.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
does anybody have more goals in the state than her? I
don't know.
Imagine. She scores 4 or 5 goals a game.
Yeah, pretty good. And then Remy, and they have. He looks to have a great. I talked to him in Hannaford the other day. A great. They were written up
Yep.
last week in here.
Yes, they were.
And then the softball, they beat Yarmouth. That's pretty good. Doing
Wow.
that anytime is positive. So.
Well, we didn't even get to the second section, but I just want to give a shout out to Rachel Skiff.
Alice Skiff. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's a warrior, and she's got
Hard worker and gets everything she
beautiful
deserves.
photo in here with her. She's got the prettiest smile in Maine.
She does. Looks like we need to wrap up here for the day,
All right.
though. So it was fun. Thanks for having me again. I hope to see you
Yeah,
soon.
we'll see you, Sally.
All
see
right,
you,
thank
everybody.
you.
When Tidewater Telecom built Lincoln County's first fiber-to-the-home network in 2011, we knew we were starting a project that would take years to see through. 9 years later, we are proud to have connected more than 2,000 Lincoln County homes to our blazing fast open fiber network. But that hasn't dimmed our vision to connect all of Lincoln County. Learn more about the power of fiber optic internet at tidewater.net.
LCTV is your nonprofit community media station. Please donate at lctv.org to keep us strong. Thank you.